afternoon, good morning, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are. My name is Katie O, and this is Moon Mama Musings. Welcome back to my living room for an astrology Peephole for today, the 26th of August, 2021. We have a waning gibbous moon in the sign of Aries, which, as you all know, is the first sign of the zodiac, which means we have begun a new moon cycle. Yay, a new cycle. Isn't that fun? The sign of Aries, they pointed out to me very strongly that the sign of Aries governs the head, the teeth, and the tongue. So head, intellect, teeth, money, tongue, speech, head, ego, sun energy, teeth, a bit of Venus energy, tongue, a bit of Mercury energy. Or maybe I feel like this is a new emphasis, right? As we started a brand new, we started a new zodiac cycle just shortly after, or a new moon cycle just shortly after we had the sun transit to the sign of Virgo. And I feel like this Virgo season is very important for us. The 9th month has been coming up for many months now, and they're saying that it's been super important. So now we are experiencing, for these couple of days, a little bit of Aries vibe to kick it all off, right? And what I heard with all of this is, and now for something completely different. For those of you who are also Monty Python fans, I mean, this brings a little bit of warm and fuzzies to your heart. And you also know it's fucking weird. So, and now for something completely different, guys. Now for something completely different. We have a new moon cycle, yeah? So here we go. What's going on today? We actually have a fairly quiet day in the heavens, and now for something completely different. There isn't really anything to talk about with our lovely, lovely friend the moon. She's just taking a break. So maybe some of you guys are feeling sleepy. Maybe some of you guys are resting. Maybe some of you guys are checking out a little bit. Maybe some of you guys are feeling quite emotional, I'm hearing. But either way, I mean, Aries energy, it's the Fool. So maybe some of you guys have just been busy because you're taking your leaps of faith. And good for you. I'm very proud of you. I'm really happy about it. All right, we got two things we're going to talk about. So first and foremost, Mercury is in a trine with Pluto. Pluto retrograde in the sign of Capricorn is sort of like this slow transformation. It still transforms, but very slowly with regards to the way we hold ourselves, our backbone, the way we... I mean, Capricorn can be an energy of kind of like old and boring and stuffy, right? Or it can be an energy of like maybe a little bit obsessive. But either way, we've got this idea that there is something that needs to change, and it doesn't matter how we do it, it just needs to do it, yeah? And with a trine and Mercury being in its home planet of Virgo is super exalted. This trine is expanding. Yeah, we're being able to communicate this transformation we've been through. We've been able to intellectualize, wrap our mind around, this change that we've been going through lately. And it's just fantastic, because there's been so much happening. Especially also with the Mercury influence, obviously this can be communication. So maybe you're speaking to somebody differently than you ever have before. Maybe you're asking for something in a different way. Maybe you're realizing that there has to be a difference or a change with a communication style, or even you need to actually just reach out to somebody. But either way, there's this now for something completely different with regards to this sort of beautiful, lucky expansion of continual, it's Mercury just continues to change. Continuing to change. It's a death and rebirth of our head, yeah? Maybe this has to do with our third eye as well. Maybe you guys are feeling new gifts. Maybe you guys are having transformations with the gifts that you've already had. Also, health changes. It's almost like you had to shed a bit of skin to remove some necrotic tissue. Yeah, there were some things that weren't working so well, right? And those had to die and be sloughed off in order for the limb to have a fresh new start. It's very interesting. It's like it's a cauterizing kind of deal. It's not cauterizing, but almost like I said, like this necrotic tissue. It's realizing that maybe there was something that was properly slowly poisoning ourselves. And I got this really, I mean, I don't want to get too graphic with you guys, but I remember having a conversation with somebody earlier and got this really strong vision of like an arm that had a wound in it, yeah? And the wound wasn't taken care of, and the poison slowly seeped up, and then it got to the point where it was like so... like that maybe a tourniquet had been tied on it kind of thing to like keep it in one space, but it just ends up like falling off and being really gross. And at that point, well, first of all, you have to hack off the limb, death and rebirth. But not only that, there's going to be aspects that really do need to be taken away. Some of you guys love your Game of Thrones references. They keep on giving me the Game of Thrones stuff lately. So maybe it has it's a little bit about like Sam peeling off the grayscale from Mormont, or Jura. Sorry, Jura. Sir Jura? Is it Sir Jura? I think it's Jura. Anyway, either way, you know what I'm getting to if you're a Game of Thrones fan. Otherwise, just don't worry about that reference at all. It's completely of no importance whatsoever. You got the idea with the sort of taking away what's festering in order to make sure that we can move forward properly. So maybe it has to do with communication. Maybe you've had like a tick under the skin between you and somebody that you care about, and now is the time to clear that air and to do it in a different way than you ever have before. And it's a super healing thing with this trine. Super healing, super healing. And with that, I think this really plays back into what we've been talking about. I mean, it's constantly, with that, the supporting energy of this is Venus in opposition with Chiron. I mean, opposition is a tug of war. Venus is our feminine energy. It has to do with abundance, with creativity, with beauty, with love, all of those beautiful things. Money, yeah. Chiron is the wounded healer. That traveler that just keeps wandering to try and fix that thing in itself that it felt that it had to retreat away from the world for. Yeah, literally, it's that idea. Look, we're in Aries moon as well. As you had something that you felt you had to run away from, and you embarked on a grand journey in your Fool energy with your Aries, like your little tiny little pack on your shoulder and your little dog and your little flower. I'm seeing the Fool card big time. You went off, and it was, yeah, it's that thing that you had to walk away from. Yeah, it needs to be healed now, and the only way to heal it is with your feminine energy. You need to be willing to sit in a space of receiving. And I'm getting that it's literally like you receive or you just don't go anywhere. You know, like we've been talking a little bit about this in the live. If you don't follow me over on Instagram, go give it a look. Talking about this a lot in live, where it's like this idea of I've lost my train of thought now, haven't I? Well, I mean, this idea of you're not going to be allowed to progress until you lighten your load. You know, you can't get on the plane until you check your unnecessary cabin baggage, ma'am. I'm very sorry. It's just the rules today. We need to check some extra baggage because there's not enough room. That's kind of the deal. So yeah, we need to be in a receptive energy. We need to be able to receive, and that means so many different things for so many different people. All right. And take this as you will. Like I said, if you've not been following me over on Instagram, go over and have a look. There's been some really profound discussions lately, and it's been very beautiful. But either way, there's this extreme healing to our feminine energies happening right now, my friends. Maybe you've got, and feminine energy doesn't have to be your actual femininity. It can also be having to do with the way you receive things, right? Your shadow side. Whatever you want to look at it as. Either way, there has been this thing that you ran away from with regards to femininity. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's just Venus energy in general. Yeah. Maybe you ran away from financial problems. Maybe you ran away from a relationship. Maybe you ran away from a creative passion. Maybe you ran away from yourself, your problems, your whatever it was that made you something that made you feel ugly. You know, you ran away from that, and it's like now it's. You know that you absolutely have to sort this out before we do anything else now, right? One step at a time, and this is the step that has to be done. All right, so, and now for something completely different. This is going to be really strange. I mean, I thought it was a little bit strange when they asked me to do it. I was getting my decks out, and as I was getting out, trying to figure out what we were going to pull the card of the day from, the book from my animal deck fell out of my shelf, and I thought, animals, okay, well, they don't want the animal deck because they had me just choose the tea leaves, as they have this beautiful fiery energy that's very Aries representative. And I said, well, animals, tea leaves, there's a lot of cards in the tea leaf that have it. Okay, so I have selected any cards that have people, animals, or likenesses of people or animals, and we're going to get a few and see what happens. So let's get some cards of the day. We got two there. It makes a lot of sense. There were also, I want to mention that there are some month cards in here. They did have a couple of month arts coming out. And they're months that I've had little, obviously we go through cycles, right? So stuff that's happened in those months in the past year has been significant, and there are hints that I've gotten that those are going to be important months for us as well. Okay, maybe this is it. Hold on, I felt like they were going to want to have... Okay. Okay, so we've got the dragon, beware of self-delusion, and the fly, a period of ill health and depression. So maybe up until, maybe recently or in the last little while, you've been going through some mental anguish. It doesn't necessarily have to be an actual, like, diagnosed mental illness, but it can also just be feeling foggy, feeling unsure, feeling confused, feeling lost, feeling just any way where you felt that your head wasn't quite straight, where you weren't quite in your being yourself. I'm hearing you didn't have your wits about you. It was really rough for you because you built up this dragon against yourself. It's almost like you were battling a dragon every day. You were fighting constantly. You were deluding yourself. You had very, very false images about things. With teardrops, great personal sorrow, and the fair woman, dealings a relationship with a woman. This was telling me, sort of reaffirming what I've been saying, is we've had unhealthy views of feminine energy or receiving things or shadow sides. Maybe we're afraid to deal with our past. Maybe we're afraid to deal with things that happened in our childhood. Maybe we're afraid of, like, for example, just contact story, right? I grew up very much thinking that if I didn't sit in a masculine energy and, like, claim what was mine and go out and make sure that I had the things that I need and provide for myself and not, rely only on myself, that no one would ever be able to do it. That everyone would let me down if I didn't do it for myself. So I had to recently debunk this theory that, oh, wait a minute, maybe I do have a little bit of problem with my feminine energy. So also that Chiron and Venus in an opposition, this is maybe we are finally admitting to ourselves as well. Yeah, okay. All right. I do have unhealthy ideals about this. And these cards are kind of bringing it up again. Vacation with kite, and rat, someone working against you behind your back. Okay, so... I'm getting, again, misunderstanding. There is misunderstanding with regards to that. It's like there's somebody that pieced out, that flew away, that left your life, that wandered off, and you've been like, what a rat. That person is just like, they've been lying to me, they've been trying to sabotage me, they've been trying to get me. I'm here. There's like this this delusion, and it's a feminine energy. It doesn't necessarily have to be a woman, but it could be, for example, somebody who is doing a lot of self-healing. All right, I'm hearing somebody who's doing a lot of self-healing. And when you're in the self-healing state, you need to be in a receptive energy, right? Because you're like waiting to find out what it is that's gonna, like, I mean, in order to heal, you need to be able to receive that healing energy, right? You need to, like, take medicine, or you need to receive advice. Okay, so maybe you have a hard time receiving advice. Pig, beware of greed. My goodness, these are very heavy things today. All right, well, we've got 3 more, so I'm going for it. Women, dealings a relationship with a woman. Okay, so maybe this is, I'm actually getting that there is a woman in your life that is extremely greedy. That can mean anything for you. It could be you. It could be you. Maybe that's why you're afraid of your feminine energy, because you're afraid that if you start receiving, maybe you're just going to get greedy and take too much. But I'm hearing that there's some woman in your life that's extremely greedy, and you'll know who she is. It's with this, like, geisha image. It's almost like, you know how geishas wear a mask of makeup almost. They wear this paint that's so thick that you're not, it's almost like serves to keep their identity illusory, I'm hearing. So there's someone who is a little bit not so forthcoming in a feminine energy. And I'm getting this one is actually a woman. An actual, like, identifies as a woman. And they're very greedy, very greedy. Bat, take care, enemies are working against you. And lion, it's time to act. Okay. So this is going to be, for some of you, not all of you, some of you need to cut this woman out of your life actively. Yeah? Some of you need to decide that you're not that woman. Very, very important. This is one or the other. If you are a biological female, you've got this idea that if you start to receive, you're just gonna not be able to stop. You know, like you see it as like, it's almost like when you have this ideal that when you sit in a receiving energy, you're being greedy. They're saying you're not. You have to get rid of that. And if you're not a biological female or identify as a female, well, there is a woman in your life who's very greedy that you need to cut out. They don't have good intentions for you. Unfortunately, my men, these are my biological masculines, my kings. These ladies, they're wearing a mask. They might look really good. They might smell like flowers, I'm hearing. But you can't put lipstick on a pig. No matter how much makeup you put on, you can't put lipstick on a pig. And this is going to be something I'm hearing that you boys that watch me, that are part of my circuit, you know already. You've had really strong inklings, because your love language is gift giving, right? Your love language is gift giving. You like to give to people. And there's somebody in your immediate vicinity, and I mean right now, not somebody who's not been around for a while, somebody who you are currently, 1551, mirroring energy, somebody who you are currently in vicinity, who's extremely greedy. And they're trying to get, I'm hearing that they don't only want your money, but they want to own you. Okay? That could mean something very important for somebody. Coming of age, overcompensate, and fleeting. Okay, so they're saying that this coming of age story is a short one. They're like saying, like, The Breakfast Club isn't really that long of a movie, right? They didn't fight for that long before they became friends. There's this like protection mechanism I'm hearing where you overcompensate. It's almost like you don't want anyone to know that you're not well. So you just, like, you're the loudest one in the room, or you're the class clown, because you don't want anyone to see that you're sad. It's very Robin Williams vibes. You know, like the very, you know, the biggest personalities, the most exuberant people are sometimes the saddest, sometimes the hardest. And yes, for whoever it is that's thinking that, yes, I do that. Yes, I do that. And yes, I have been very sad in the past months, in the past year. I've been extremely sad. Yes. Don't let it stop me. I keep on moving forward because that's what I have to do. But yes, I've had extreme sadness in my life. Responsibility, let go and flow, and service. All right, so you have a responsibility to yourself right now, okay, of service. You need to. The only masculine energy that some of you guys should be in is giving to yourself right now. And some of you, the masculine, if you are, again, my biological males, most of you, as well as some biological females, but those of you who tend to maybe sit more in masculine energy, but not when you're resisting things, like you just naturally, that is your natural state, not protection mechanism, your natural state, okay? And that could mean many, many different things. Some of you guys actually have to just like let go to this and realize that yes, it has to be you that goes off and approaches that person. And you have to stop worrying so much. I'm hearing if you are a person who knows that you have to go and talk to somebody about something, don't worry so much about how you, actually anybody who knows that there is a conversation coming up for them. Don't worry so much about how you're going to react in face of this conversation, because when you're in it, I'm hearing you're going to just, it's like autopilot. Your compassion will take over, and you will say the right thing at the right time, and it will be well received, and everything will fine. And if there's a question, the answer will be yes. And it's like, it will go exactly the way you want it to. Okay, whatever it is, it's going to go the way you want it to. So don't worry, don't overthink it. You're just putting yourself through misery. Next step, study and karma. Okay, they're saying in order to move on to the next step, we need to understand the lessons that we've learned. Okay, we're starting a new cycle now. All right, we're at the beginning of a new cycle, and we need to understand very, 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 very firmly what we have learned in the past cycle in order to embark on a new cycle. Study. Look at this with this apple here. Someone's apple of their eye. I don't know, but this apple here. Study, 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 study. You may consider yourself a teacher, my dears, but you also need to study from time to time. You may actually, and maybe vice versa, maybe you're always trying to maybe be like a teacher's pet, or like bring an apple to teacher, or maybe an apple a day keeps the doctor away. I'm hearing maybe some of you guys are a bit of hypochondriacs, and they're saying that energy is not going to serve you. If you freak out about your health, it only weakens your immune system further, and it compounds the health issue. Yes, I hear you. Thank you. especially this Virgo season. They want to close out. This is a really important, this Virgo season, they're saying Virgo season is all about taking a next step now, right? It's a study phase. It's gather the information so that you know exactly the next step you have to take. Very, very much so, because the karma is cleared. A lot of you have cleared some massive karma recently. Massive karma. It's cleared. I'm telling you right now, if you've been wondering, oh God, is this over? Oh God, am I going to go through this again? It is cleared. The karma is cleared. Your debt has been paid. You no longer owe anything to anybody. You don't owe anything to anybody except for yourself. I'm hearing the only outstanding debt in your books is the debt you have to yourself to claim your destiny. Okay? And a lot of you, that's by reconciling with your feminine side. All right, so let Chiron pull the reins a little bit with regards to that feminine energy. Let Venus pull back a little bit to show Chiron where it needs to heal. Some of you, that woman has very dark hair, whoever that greedy woman was. Some of you, not all of you, but I'm hearing some of you guys were going, I don't know. And okay, look, stubborn or aggressive person. And an older woman, they're older than you. They're older than you. Yeah, maybe they don't have dark hair anymore. Maybe they used to have dark hair. And maybe they once were very beautiful. Yeah, maybe they once were a very good match for you, but not anymore, I'm hearing. Not anymore, not anymore. They could have once been a match. When you guys were at different phases, you could have taught each other a lot, but you've passed through that phase now, and they've passed through that phase. And I'm hearing you're both being stubborn about letting each other go. That's a very specific message for some of you, but that's it. All right, I'm gonna leave this one at that. I will be back over on Instagram tomorrow for the moon transit till Taurus, and that will be the 28th of August 2020. 27th of August 2021. Happy birthday to my papa. Anyhow, that's it for me. I will catch you tomorrow. So I'm sorry for anything you're going through if I've made you feel a certain way. Thank you so much for being a beautiful human and being. You don't have to be a human if you don't want to. Thank you for being a beautiful being and lending your energy to the circuit. And I'd also like to thank our guides, my guides, your guides, the circuit, the team of teams, the ascended masters, the angel, the passed on loved ones, the spirit guides, the higher selves, the finger puppets, you name it, the dragons, the centaurs, the fawns, the fairies, the whatever. Let's thank a whole damn gang. Thank you very much for these beautiful messages, and thank you for giving us clear, easily decipherable things for our highest good. I love you very much, to the moon and the stars and to infinity and beyond and back, and I accept this, and I hope you do too. But if not, no stress. It's all good, man. Until next time. Bye.